Hey everyone, I hope you're taking it easy and your days have been great thus far. For this video, we'll be continuing through our unbagging of the Combat Patrol magazine with issue number 10. And Combat Patrol is for the Warhammer 40,000 setting. And as I've mentioned in previous videos, Combat Patrol has only just recently been put out into the Australian retail market. Although I will admit I do get mine as a subscription as opposed to trying to source it directly from retail, because from what I understand it's becoming very difficult to source it from retail. Constraints on stock availability and things like that. But anyway, issue number 10 will be the last issue of my subscription pack before it rolls over into another 4 issues. So at some point in time during the video, I'll do a quick little costings of, at least for me, how it's going, although I do expect that to stabilize. Anyway, front of the issue. So we have a nice artwork here of a Librarian in Tactical Dreadnought armor. I dare say casting smite. So that will be the included model, the actual Librarian and Terminator armor. It will also receive a medium base brush as well. And then there will be some story bits, information about the Librarian and TDA, and some weapon rules. So, going inside into the magazine, so build and paint, unsurprising, is for the Librarian and Tactical Dreadnought armor. In terms of the story side, we have a bit about the Ecclesiarchy, and some information regarding Devastator Doctrine for Space Marines, collecting, back to the Librarian, and then from the play side, weapon abilities and a scenario for Mind Over Matter. How to build Librarian and Terminator armor. So basically, clip everything off and put everything together. It is snap fit, so you do not require glue, but mileage will vary. Some snap kits are good, some snap kits are bad. Depends how lucky you feel. But basically, pretty much all the steps to put the Librarian together. Deliver decent pose, even though it'll be partly difficult to try and repose him, I imagine, but yeah. How to paint. I guess this is where McCrag Blue pretty much comes in handy for the Librarian. Despite the fact, well, conveniently enough, it's an Ultramarine Librarian, but Librarians are pretty much always in blue. So McCrag Blue undercoat, then using the Abaddon Black to get into some various undersuit recesses, weapon casings and things like that. Retributor armor for trims and some other iconic things on the armor. And then using a little bit of Wraithbone for the face and the skull on the front. So the Librarian, based on the colours provided, will be very much a work in progress. There's still plenty more that can be done with the model with some paint. So yes, watch that space basically. So I mean, it's semi-ready for a tabletop if you don't look too hard. I mean, they are predominantly blue, but there you go. In terms of the story side, so what do we have? So we have a little section here regarding the Ecclesiarchy, which I won't go into full detail on, but it is there. And then we have just a little bit of information regarding some Shrines of Faith, the Occult Imperialis. So yeah, they're just basically 2-3 sentence blurbs regarding those. And then Devastator Doctrine. It'll be interesting how this changes over time, because Devastators were very much a firstborn thing. And then Primaris obviously changed some of the mentality regarding Devastator squads. Thus this little blurb about Devastator Doctrine. And then also goes into some other heavier weapons and vehicles. So we have the Ballistus Dreadnought, the Storm Talon Gunship, and the Repulsor Executioner. I still fence sit about Marines having some type of anti-grav plates. And because I was very much in the time where the only people who had anti-grav was pretty much the Eldari and the Dark Eldar. Or I should have said Eldar, Dark Eldar. Eldari, Drukhari. Tomato, tomato. Librarian in Terminator armor, so it's just the collection side of things. There will be a little D6 generator table, bit of a unit name, and just ticking off your progress with the Librarian. And of course we will have the data sheet behind, of course. Always nice to have. Always good. Weapon abilities. So we have things like pistols and rapid fire, blast weapons, torrent weapons. Actually, this is probably a good issue for me to relearn some of the weapon attributes. Heavy weapons, devastating wounds, psychic weapons, assault weapons, and hazardous. So some of those interesting keywords that get used through various weapons throughout the universe. Scenario, mind over matter. So we've got the Librarian against, wow, Von Ryan's Leapers, a Winged Tyranid Prime, and Terminats. He's already got so many wounds. Space Marine turn, going straight into the Von Ryan Sleepers, which, I mean, is not necessarily a bad thing because at least he can't get shot at, but still. Tyranid turn, or Tyranid turn. I don't know what happened to the Leapers, I'm guessing the Librarian won. Then you've got the Tyranid Prime and the Terminats coming in. And yeah, the victory conditions. To be honest, I don't think a single Librarian is going to win against all that. No offense. I know maybe in the lore, maybe, but maybe not in a statistically logistical game. Anyway, splash page for Combat Patrol. I wonder when they'll change this image. Okay, back of the issue. What to expect in the let's try that again. What to expect in the upcoming issues. Issue 11. 2 paints, Corax White and Lead Belcher, although to be honest I'm pretty sure I've got both of them from Imperium. And then 12 and 13, so it's actually interesting that going through 3 issues as opposed to just the 2. 12 and 13 will basically be parts 1 and 2 of a Terminator squad, which is always nice, so that'll be fun. In terms of my subscription, obviously I will get the full squad. This would have been great to get some extras from the retail space, but apparently they've been very difficult to source and or sold out very quickly. Am I surprised? Yeah. So that was the page through of issue 10. Now, what else was included with issue 10? So we have the medium base brush with a very solid tip there. I'm surprised it doesn't have a cover, but there you go. And then we also have the Librarian as well. So being snap fit, there will be the snap point entries on the actual base and the actual runner for the Librarian, which is actually a decent sized runner. Very interesting how they actually constructed this, because just looking at the front, the back and things like that, just how they've got these open areas where things will ultimately connect back in. So that is the runner. Sprue, definitely some nice detailing here and there throughout the armor. I will admit, it is a very nice looking model, especially given that I remember the 2nd edition Librarian and Terminator armor. Boy, that goes back some time. Okay, so that was that. So what we will do is, just for the sake of keeping things looking a little bit pretty, I'll just watch this brush basically roll away. Try now, brush. Haha. Okay, so because I have a subscription, basically the running costs, if everything squad-wise was bought at direct retail, just over 600 Australian dollars, which isn't too bad for 10 issues worth of, you know, paints, models, and everything in between. In terms of my subscription plus any extras that I bought, which funnily enough stopped at issue 7, is actually a bit under the running cost at 571 Australian. So far I am still just a little bit ahead of my subscription versus the running cost, although in saying that, because I picked up extra issues for the models, technically that 571 versus the running cost would actually be definitely different, because I haven't factored in the individual costs of, say, from issue 1, because I got like an extra 6 issues for the cost of like 6 wing Tyranid primes would be at normal retail versus the costings at $5.99 each for the issue. So definitely not too bad for the 10 issue total. Now the running cost versus the total will improve a bit, just because of what I mentioned at the beginning of the video regarding the ability to get issues from retail. It's very, very difficult. There's definitely a lot of constraint on stock and things like that. So I'm just going to have to live with what I'm getting from the subscription, which once again is probably a good thing that I have. Otherwise, I'd be missing a lot of issues. Anyway, time to leave it there for issue number 10 of Combat Patrol. Fun little page through, and then issue number 11 will start off another 4-part bulk of the subscription. Thank you very much for watching this video. Feel free to do the whole like, comment, subscribe. It's always handy. It does support the channel, and I do appreciate it. Feel free to check out Instagram and the YouTube community tab. I am trying to keep some work in progress stuff up there. Emphasis on trying. Otherwise, stay safe and take care, and I'll catch you all in either the next issue of Combat Patrol, which will be issue 11, in the issue of Imperium, which I think is 44, I think, 43, 44, or something else on the channel. See ya.